Yo, what's up, everyone? It's Mind of an Athlete here, and today we got AAA affiliate for the Blue Jays, Josh Rivera. How you doing today, Josh?
Good. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. All right, let's get straight to it right now. I'm excited for this interview. So, starting off, growing up, where did baseball first become serious for you, and what did that environment look like?
I'd say baseball became serious around the age of 16. I was playing for the Florida Burn at the time, and I started to see um, more college scouts and professional scouts out at tournaments, normal travel ball tournaments. We played a lot of perfect game tournaments back then. And just going to those tournaments, I saw a lot of coaches with their college gear on. Usually they wore about a hat or they came around in like a windbreaker.
Yeah.
But I started to see them watch games a lot and see my head coach for the Florida Burn, Jeff Callan at the time, talk to them after games, talk to them before games. So then that's when I started to put two and two together and realize that this could be something serious.
Who was really the biggest influence for you early on in your baseball career?
Early on, it was definitely my parents. Just tell me tell me where the game could take me. Of course, growing up, watching professional games on TV, they say, hey, that could be you one day and stuff like that. And I kind of want to add one more person into that
Mhm.
because, like I said, playing for Florida Burn, my head coach Jeff Callan, he was someone that helped me learn a lot about the college game and helped me learn about what they were looking for, more from a college standpoint. But even the professional side too. He introduced me to what that lifestyle was going to look like, especially going into high school and playing in tournaments in the summer. So he played a big role in kind of introducing me and showing me the way and tell me kind of how to navigate that lifestyle.
So, where did you attend high school, and how did that program help shape you as the player you are now?
So for 3 years, I attended Avon Park High School down in Avon Park, Florida, and um, that team shaped me in every aspect of life. Really, those guys I still am in contact with to this day, and they kind of helped me tap into being a more fierce competitor. That since we were a small town and we didn't really travel a lot to play, different schools, but um, in terms of who we played in our class, we wanted to be the best, and we strived for it. We tried to beat everybody we could, and try to have that go get it mindset. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they shaped me. Um, they shaped me really into a man, in high school. And then they tried to helped me choose what was best for me in my future, which then came into me transferring to IMG Academy. I transferred over to IMG Academy my senior year, and like I said, those guys in Avon Park were um, very understanding and helpful, and they told me to go get it and go push for my dreams. So I was blessed with an opportunity to go to IMG Academy, and yeah, I accepted it, and that's that last year there gave me a lot of insight of what college is looking like, and kind of just lifestyle away from home, lifestyle away from your family. So it was kind of tough, but yeah, going through those 3 years at Avon Park, I kind of had the confidence to go in there and kind of play my part to IMG Academy, and kind of bring that spark from down in Avon Park up here to Bradenton, and um, it was amazing. It was amazing. I came here with guys that I knew from travel ball, and guys that I played against, being at Avon Park sometimes. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And everyone, all the young athletes, their dream is to play at IMG and go to school there. So what was it like being there for one year?
It was sick. It was an amazing, it was an amazing experience. I'm forever blessed to be able to say that I've graduated from IMG and just going through that change really, being more dedicated to the sport. Not to say we weren't dedicated in the classroom, but overall, we spent more time out there on the field practicing and working out as opposed to being in school. And that kind of gave me a better idea of how college was going to go. Getting all your schoolwork done in the morning and then dedicating most of your afternoon. And sometimes evening to practice and games. So it was a great experience. They welcomed me with open arms. They kind of, showed me the ropes for the first couple months, and then, yeah, it was almost like I'd been there for 2 years. So it was a great experience.
That's sick. As a younger player, what separated you from other talents? Was it more of your mentality or just your straight skills?
Um, Growing up, I'd probably say skills at first because, as a kid, you're just trying to go out there and have fun and, keep it as basic as catching the ball and, hitting the ball. So, um, while I was on the small fields, it was always, kind of skill based. But, in Highlands County, there was a lot of skillful players, a lot of skillful baseball players. So, um, it was a great environment to be in. Just playing for fun. And then once I got into high school, it turned into more of a mentality, kind of a go get you mentality. You know, give it all you got and kind of leave it all out there on the field. And that's where it switched over from kind of skill based to mindset because baseball truly is a game where anyone could beat anyone.
Right.
And high school really started to show me that. And it became, a goal to change that mindset. You know what I mean? Change the
Yeah.
mindset of just having fun to, having an actual, approach, a plan, and kind of just leaning into it.
And so after high school, you went to the University of Florida. Why did you choose the University of Florida?
The University of Florida is only about 3 hours away from my hometown in Avon Park. So, um, yeah, I mean, it was close to home. And the year I committed, they had just won the national championship, and we were playing in the WWBA up in Georgia, and it was crazy. It was crazy to have the opportunity to get one scouted by that school, and then to talk on the phone with Kevin O'Sullivan. It's kind of surreal in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially them winning the national championship and me being able to go see the campus right after that. Um, it was unbelievable. It was a great experience for my family and I. And once we were able to stop by Gainesville and kind of have a tour of everything, it was, I mean, it was really a no brainer. I knew that was a school I wanted to go to. And yeah, I was truly blessed to be able to commit and play over at University of Florida.
Playing in the SEC is a different level of pressure, especially playing at the University of Florida. What did that conference teach you about yourself, especially coming out of high school?
Man, that conference taught me a lot. I'd probably say one of the biggest things is that kind of how to respond when you get punched in the mouth. I mean, obviously, metaphorically speaking, um, but that's just because, like you said, the SEC is such a intense conference, and they any team could beat any team.
Right.
No matter who's on the field and what rankings say. And that definitely uh, showed me a lot of different challenges. From weekend to weekend, we had to play. One team that was stacked to the T, and then the next weekend we had to, no matter what the results were, we had to go in and kind of, go in with that mindset of taking care of business from weekend to weekend. So, um, yeah, playing in the SEC really showed me kind of just showed me how to compete, really compete on a different level. It's it's hard to really explain. I know I'm trying, and I'm
You're good.
I'm
You're
struggling with
good.
coming up with the words, but yeah, it was such an unbelievable experience. Just so much good baseball, um, and just the history behind playing against different teams. It was definitely amazing to be a part of that and get to experience that for real.
So I assume you hate the Seminoles, right?
100%.
All right.
But I will say, my girlfriend graduated law school from Florida State. So I mean,
Okay.
we're kind of in a whirlwind there. But at the end of the day, when it came to playing at the University of Florida, yeah, I did not like Florida State.
All right. So, how did your approach at the plate and in the field evolve during your time at Florida? Was there really a coach who helped unlock something inside of you?
Definitely. First name that comes to mind is Chuck Girolman. Chuck Girolman started at the University of Florida. The same time I started, our first years were 2019 into that 2020 COVID year. Um, and yeah, I mean, he essentially turned me into the shortstop that I am today. Obviously, I know I have to go out there and play, but he provided me with all the information and all the knowledge about playing short, and even my freshman year being able to have former Gator Nolan Fontana be out there with me and kind of just teaching me how to play short and all the different parts of being a shortstop. Um, that that you know propelled me into becoming a better shortstop in the league, especially in the SEC, which was huge for me. The next point in my life, but yeah, Chuck Girolman definitely helped me turn my defensive game around and helped me go through all the ups and downs that come along with a college season, and showed me kind of just how to carry myself out there and how to separate what happens on offense from defense, and understanding that I have a job to do on both sides of the ball. And when something doesn't go my way at the plate, that job is over. And I got to do, a new job, and that job is to be the leader out on the field. Whether that's communicating with the pitcher and communicating with my guy over at third and second, and kind of just navigating things all over the field, or just fielding the ball. Understanding that those jobs were separate, and I had to separate the emotion from it.
Man, that's a great speech advice right there, and that's going to get clipped, put on TikTok for all the youth to know, all that stuff. Everyone needs to hear that. And
Well, I
so
appreciate that.
let's go entering pro ball. So, what was the draft process like for you mentally and emotionally?
Stressful. It was very stressful. I was able to put up a good enough year at University of Florida to become a prospect, and yeah, that whole process of just you know um, hearing from different teams and discussing with my agent, different possibilities and maybe different opportunities. It was very stressful. But I tried to just at that time really just put that stuff in the back of my mind and try to stay where my feet are. And that was kind of just my biggest goal, was to stay around my family, stay around loved ones, and kind of just continue to make memories with them. And then let all that stuff play out, because at the end of the day, I can only control what I can control. And um, yeah, it was very stressful, but also very nice. Because I was able to kind of put the phone down. Kind of look at what really mattered most to me.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. So, how did it really feel when the Cubs organization called? And can you really break it down for us, just draft day and the whole feeling right there?
Yeah, so that time it was going into the third round. Um and honestly, I decided, well, I know the draft's gonna the start like they're gonna start the third round here today, but sorry if you can hear the dogs barking.
You good. You're good.
Yeah,
You're
I'm so
good.
sorry. Are they loud? I just want to
No,
ask
not
real
at
quick.
all.
Okay, perfect. back to the story. Sorry. Yeah, I decided I thought I could get done with a 5 question math test that I was doing at the time, and it wasn't a test; it was just a little quiz. So I decided to start the quiz, and I started the quiz, and I kind of just had the draft pulled up a little away from me. Thank God it wasn't a proctored quiz.
Oh man, I'm
Uh,
about to say.
yeah, yeah, it wasn't a proctored quiz, so it was okay for me to have that on. At least just being right there and just kind of so intense in the moment of one trying to finish the quiz and then two not knowing where I was going to end up. Um, but yeah, I was on question 4. I was almost done, and I got the call. I got the call that it was going to be the Cubs, and my heart just dropped. And then it was kind of it's kind of a cool moment though because as I got that call, um, I don't know where my parents had went, but you know, they had just opened the door to walk back into the house. So as soon as they, walked in the house, I was like, shh, telling them to be quiet, and they kind of put two and two together that was the moment. So it was really cool to for them to walk into that moment, and then of course, I kind of heard it for being on the phone while taking a quiz, but yeah, it was a great moment for me and my family. A lot of emotion, and it was intense.
A quiz during draft day. That's a crazy story right there. I can't lie.
Dude, I thought I had enough time, and it was 5 questions, so I was like, I think I can knock it out before it starts. But then, how math goes, you start working out something, and you got to go through with all the work, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't struggling, So it was, it was something that I was working through, and then I was like, oh, so it was
Yeah,
cool.
that's what's up, man. So once you entered pro ball, what was the biggest adjustment you had to make?
Entering pro ball, probably just going at it every day. Yeah, and once I got into playing games, playing every day, versus only playing on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Yeah,
So I'd been used to preparing my body for a weekend series, but I never really got used to that uh, until my first couple weeks of pro ball. Of playing every day, kind of developing a different routine, something that was more built for the long run because you play a lot more games in pro ball than you do in college. So, kind of just learning all that information, and I mean, the best teacher for me was experience. You know, I kind of came out of college going into pro ball with the same mentality and same work ethic as preparing for a college game, and stuff like that. And I learned very quickly that um, I have to know when to speed up and I have to know when to slow down. I kind of know when to pace myself and not get too worked up when the game is hours away. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, um, yeah, it definitely taught me how to navigate my routine better, and kind of just how to space out things in my day. Since we were playing day to day or every single day, um, and yeah, I'd probably say that was the biggest thing. Playing every day as opposed to playing only on weekends.
So what does a typical game day look like for you now, like routine wise?
Well, I try to wake up around 9:30, 10 o'clock. Give myself enough time to get a good breakfast. And when I get a good breakfast, um, or after I get a good breakfast, sorry, I head over to the field. And by this time, it's you know noon, noon to 1 o'clock. I get to the field. From there, if I have to lift, I'll lift as soon as I get to the field. Kind of just knock that out of the way. And then from lifting, I go to my defensive routine. I use kind of a little red machine, um, and essentially shoots just short hops at me. So I'll do that for about uh, 20 minutes, 20, 25 minutes. And then from there, I'll go to my cage routine. I'll do my early cage routine, which is typically just flips. I'll go through flips, and then once I'm done with that, come in, grab a quick bite before we take BP as a team, and then um, yeah, grab that quick bite, go out there for kind of like the plan for the day meeting we have, and then we go through our BP, team BP. Um, Oh, sorry. We do defense before BP. We'll do like a mass fungo in the infield, and then we'll start to take BP. Sometimes that mass fungo will be during BP. So that's where I got it mixed together. But yeah, after BP, if I'm still a bit hungry, I'll grab a little bite. Although that rarely happens. I don't really like to eat a lot before games. But yeah, after BP and after that post BP meal, um, get ready for the game, and that usually leaves us within, in 45 minutes to an hour until game time. So I use that time to just sit in my locker, really, be around my teammates, talk to them, kind of get their game plans, what they're going to be looking for, at least on the offensive side. Um, and then from there, I sit there in my locker and try to just be present, be where my feet are. Try not to let my mind think about the future or things of the past. I try to just be where I am in the moment, um, and then try to let it all come to me for the game. At the end of the day, I just want to um, be in the moment and compete because that's that's all it really comes down to. You got to get out there, and once you cross those lines, it's all about competing.
100%. And so are all baseball players have a superstition? Do you have anything like you have to do like superstitiously right before the game?
Ah, so I'm not superstitious, but like I'm a little stitious at times, like I don't know. It varies. There's not one thing. So it's like it's very weird. I don't know why, but it's just something like if I got two knocks and I remember that I put my batting gloves on left to right, then it's like I got to put my batting gloves on left to right.
Okay.
And then like little things like that. There's not like the same thing that I have to do every day, but if it doesn't work, I'll try to switch it up, go, batting gloves, putting them on right to left. um so I mean, I can't even deny, I guess I am superstitious then. I guess I am, but just not in I'm not like an intense superstitious guy though, so
Yeah, I mean, I even had mine during my when I was playing every day. It's consistent. I had to listen to the same two songs right before I got to the field, and then it was time to
yeah,
go.
no, and I got teammates that are like that. They got the playlist that's right before the game, or I've played with a couple guys that like to write out stuff on a notebook. So I mean, hey, whatever gets you in the zone, whatever gets you
Yeah.
ready to compete, you got to do it because if you don't do it, then you feel like you're not at your best to compete. So whatever puts you at your best to compete.
Yes, sir, for sure. And so you got drafted by the Cubs, and then you got traded to the Blue Jays, and you've made it all the way into their AAA system. Playing at the AAA level, what do you feel separates players who get called up from those who don't?
Um, one one I feel like it's mentality. Because like I said earlier, I think experience is the best teacher. So as you're growing through or as you're going through like a season and you're younger, when the season's having its highs and lows, you're kind of all over the place. You kind of get too high on that top, that mountaintop,
Yeah.
and then when it gets too low, you're at the lowest of the low. So I feel like being able to separate your emotions from your responsibilities is, a big part of it. Because no matter what, everybody who takes the field wants to, be the best. They want to play the best, and they want to, everybody wants to get the hit. Everybody wants to make the out, make the play, make the crazy diving play, whatever, the case may be. But when they don't, having the ability to not be angry by that, but to kind of sit back and reflect and go through the play or go through the at bat in your head, um, and kind of what you saw, what you were feeling, um, what were you thinking, kind of looking at it from a more of a self-reflection point of view, as opposed to just being angry and saying, I need to do better. Because there's a lot of there's a lot of guys, and most guys that are in pro ball, um, have the ability to make those adjustments, those in-game adjustments. And um, sometimes I feel like, especially speaking from experience, that kind of just gets thrown to the side because of your emotions, or because of our emotions. Because you know this game could be very rewarding, or very destructive. um, and if you can just understand what you have to do and know what you do when you're at your best, there's going to be times where things don't go your way.
For
But
sure.
knowing and being rooted into what you do and what works for you, um that can help you that can help you big time, uh in terms of separating emotion and responsibility. Because at the end of the day, when you're out there, you got a job to do. um whether that's um being at first base, second base, short, third, every single position has their own job to do. And at when you want to do it well, I feel like you can do better by understanding what you have to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You Because we all know how to play the game. We can all catch, we can all throw, we can all hit. But being able to still want to do those things while you're in that valley, that's a major key in moving on to higher levels. Because it's easy to be in a valley and say, I don't feel like doing this because I suck, or like it's not going to work. But if you're struggling and you're in that valley and you're still like, I'm here to play and I'm showing up, I'm still going to get after it. You don't know what opportunities can come from that. So, yeah, I'd say number one is mentality. Number two is opportunity. Um, some people have different opportunities than others, and opportunities come in you know various times. We never know what can happen, and um, as long as you're available, you know, availability is the best ability. You
Yep.
don't know what opportunities can come from that. So I'd say one's mindset, two is opportunity. Really, I feel like those two are big ones, and players who move up and down, because the talent is always there. The, Everybody is talented, and um, yeah, the game gets harder and harder.
And so we're in the off season right now. So what part of your game are you most focused on refining right now, getting ready for the next season?
Right now is my approach offensively. Just knowing how I've been pitched to, and kind of just assuming that, if I am pitched to in this way in the future, how can I combat that? How can I, you know, step in the box against any pitcher, and kind of have certain mentality, um, in my approach, to where then I can use that as my base and then kind of just change, have little thought changes varying on pitcher to pitcher. You know what I mean? Guys who have sink, guys who throw cutters, rise fastballs. But yeah, mostly just trying to get um, that foundational approach squared away. So then once I get into more complex approaches with, guys who are spinning the ball a lot more, or guys who have sink and run or sink and cut, um, um, yeah, I feel like, in order to get to those complex approaches, I kind of just got to refine my um, foundational approach first. So that's kind of just the biggest thing I've been working on.
And so now we're gonna move into talking about identity, your goals, and future. So, two-part question right here. How would you describe yourself as a player to someone who's never seen you play? Just because we do have fans who watch at home who haven't watched baseball. And when you get into the big leagues, what kind of player do you want to be known as?
How I would describe myself to someone who hasn't seen me play, I'd say is a competitor. Um, yeah, I try to go out there and compete and win every time. Whether that's offensively, defensively, even in the dugout, I'm trying to talk to guys, hype them up, um, and kind of just get everybody on the same page. But yeah, and that kind of the same answer of how I'd want to be known in the MLB. If and when I make it up there.
When you make it,
I
when you make it.
thank you, but there's always if. But I just want to be known as a competitor, someone who's a tough out, and then someone who offenses kind of know what I can do on defense. I just want to be known as a competitor and someone who's, regardless of what results and stats say, I'm still going to go out there and be present and compete.
Yes, sir. I like that. I like that. And so to wrap it up, looking back at your journey so far, what advice would you give to younger players chasing the same path as you?
What advice? Um, Say the most important thing is to make sure that you're having fun because once it seems like it's a job, then it can seem like it's life or death, and that if you don't do well, nothing's going to go well. Um, so being able to keep it fun, understanding it's a game, um, kind of just think of it as, of course it's a harder game, but you could grab a wiffle bat and a wiffle ball and go play in the backyard. So it's it's still a game, it's just a game, and there's more to our lives than just baseball or any sport. So I'd probably say number one is just keep it fun. Um, and then another piece of advice is stay focused, really, because no matter what situation you're in, like I understand life may throw some things at you and at people, and um, sometimes it can be in the worst moments. But if you truly set your mind to go after something, I think you know priority number one should be to stay focused on that. Because if you stay focused and really push yourself and challenge yourself day in day out, week in week out, year in year out, um, you'll see that all the noise and stuff that's life is thrown at you, you'll see that all that was for a reason. And you'll feel better about choosing to focus on your dream or your goal and going after that. Um, just because life experiences will teach you a lot, but if you can chase after what you want, you can get it.
For sure, for sure. All right, well, I appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us today, and good luck next season, 2026. We're all rooting for you.
Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the conversation. It was great.
Yes, sir. Thank you.